color will remain the same, you know. So bring back your, then we started advertising, bring back your original color, be the color you were born with, and such things, you know. So because this was getting out of hand, you know, people are really fanatical about getting fair in our country. So this was getting out of hand, so such things we had to do. You know, so technologically this was, one was the blue bleach for the longer time, one was the oxy bleach. We blocked all the entrance from there.
Okay. I wanted to know about the pricing strategy of your company, right? To create a, again,
we had a bleach which was 74 rupees, but that gave you 6 bleaches. We thought that was damn cheap as compared to when they went to the parlor, etc. But what we didn't realize was even 74 rupees was a big thing for everybody. And the people who we wanted to start off, you know, see, bleaching is done to camouflage the secondary hair growth on the face. And the secondary hair growth on the face starts in the teenage, when the person attains puberty, that's when the secondary hair growth starts. So our actual audience should have been the college students who do not want to take off the hair, they want to keep their hair where it is, but yet not show the hair and camouflage it, etc. So we had to make a bleach to suit their pockets. So we came out with a one-time 9-gram bleach, which was at that time introduced at 10 bucks. So they could just take it, use it and throw it and go for a party, social, whatever it is. And this we started promoting in a big way in college students.
Fantastic. Now next question which came in my mind, because you started as an entrepreneur and then you started selling the product, going and talking to the distributors and everything. So when it stopped, how you stopped it? How you created a structure of your organization?
There is a time when you have to, in fact, I used to distribute, I used to search for distributors at one stage. Second stage, the distributors started seeking us out. The third stage is when we had this credit going on in the market and I suddenly said, okay, I do not want to extend any credit. You order whatever you can sell, only order that much, cash and carry, cashed out. Okay? And I was in a position to do that. I was a monopoly in bleach, all kinds of bleaches, and by which time I had the liquid hand soap. This also hand soap, mine was the first one in India, way back in 1987. In fact, we formulated the Dettol liquid soap in our factory first when it came. But of course, they have huge advertising budgets, which we didn't have. But we came out with the first coconut oil based hand soap, which would not make the hands rough. Now the housewives, when we started demonstrating, was telling us that many times we are cooking and we have to wash our hands and feed the baby, wash our hands and open the door, wash our hands, and the soap makes our hands so rough, and plus the wash. So we wanted a soap which was going to clean her hands thoroughly, which was going to remove the smell of fish or biryani or whatever she was cooking in one wash, and which was going to leave her hands soft, and which was going to work out even cheaper than the bar of soap, and which was going to be hygienic. So every drop of soap which she used on the basin was factory packed. It was not something which was used by somebody else. Otherwise, what happens when you use a cake soap and you rush out, you see the muck on the cake soap, some haldi, some hair, some whatever it is. So, you know, the cake soap is quite pathetic. Plus, you're dipping your hands all the time with water and the soap with the water. The soap becomes like a gel and it is quite pathetic. So this is very neat, one drop. And also when one hand is dirty, she could press it with the other hand and she could wash and she could go and do her stuff. The soap became such an instant hit because wherever we demonstrated, along with the soap, we would give a little refill. So once the dispenser could run for about 1,000 washes. It was an imported Castor dispenser from Italy at that time we imported. It could run for 1,000 washes and 250 ml each time 1 ml even if she puts. She could fill up the bottle 4 times, you know, or even more. So it was no use for her to buy new bottles every time. So every time she bought a bottle, we used to give her refill free. We introduced the concept of a refill with the hand soap and a dispenser bottle first time in India. So at that time, our soaps were also very, very famous. In fact, the housewives used to ring up and say, what's new from Fem? Because we were doing something new every time. So this is how, and at that time, in the distribution market, I said, you place the cash and you will get the product. And we had a huge drop in sales. People said, Dadagiri, ye nahi chalega, you know, we will not be able to sell, aisa koi nahi karta, we will not be. So I said, fine, whatever you can sell, this thing, order. You can't sell, no, so 2 pieces bhejo. I said, theek hai, 2 pieces bhejenge. You know, it's not, acha theek hai, 6 pieces. Then I introduced a scheme which said, 12 pe 1 free, you know, 1 free per dozen. So then they started ordering 1 dozen and paying for it. And this is how we started organizing the retail. And then once we were known as a cash and carry company, you know, with no nonsense and no nothing, then we were taken up very seriously by other people. Nobody could just place an order and forget about us. They had to pay upfront. They had to see that the products, because then they had paid products in their shop, they get them sold. So the owners were selling also went on to them. So that is how we organize the retail, and then we would back them up with advertising so that it helps them to sell the products and order more. And it helped because we got the money advance. So we could advertise, we could put in that money, and we could advertise and get it off. You know?
When you started, I'm sure that your turnover could be, for the first year, could be maybe in lakhs.
Yeah.
Then you reached to the height up to 100 crores
Yeah.
turnover. But then you sold the product to Dabur.
The company, not the product, the entire company.
The company, they have sold it to Dabur. So now my question came to you, question to you is that you got so much involved into it. I can make it out, right?
Yeah.
Right from developing the product, understanding the customer need, talking to the distributor, talking to the understanding what is happening with the competitor minds, and that too with the international brand, you know, and you were giving a tough big challenge to all of them, and you were with, I'm sure you must be having a great feeling in your mind that yes, I can do it very well, right? But then why this particular decision that you sold your company to someone?
Yeah, we went public in 1994.
Okay.
We were listed, and by which time Fem had 3 types of bleaches. We had a herbal bleach, we had a pink bleach, we had a blue bleach, we had an oxy bleach, 4 bleaches. Then we had 5 fragrances with soaps, a 1 liter refill and a 5 liter refill in all the 5 fragrances. Then we had hair removing cream. That's again what the housewives wanted, a hair removing cream which did not smell like Anne French. So we had great smelling hair removing creams which we controlled the viscosity of, which penetrated deeper and removed the hair from the root, whatever. We had a better USP than the market leader Anne French. So we were second to Anne French. Even wheat is now third to Fema, even with all that advertising. But we had near second in hair removing cream. Hand soaps, we were the monopoly at that time. And the bleach, we were the monopoly all the time. But there came a time when I felt, when the multinationals started coming, Dettol started coming, Palmolive fell flat on their face because the formulation was like simply was a very mass product. But they did so, and after a lot of hammering, they're doing well, you know. But competition was increasing. People were screaming over the rooftops. Our share prices were only 350 rupees in the market. Our major visibility on the shelf was Fem, you know, with so many fragrances, so many SKUs, so many 1 liter, 5 liter, 250 ml, then again so many bleaches. Bleach, there were 3 sizes, a large, a medium and a one-time bleach, then oxy bleach. 3 sizes of 3 bleaches, 4th herbal bleach in 1 size. Then the parlor packs were there. We had tremendous amount of visibility. So everybody who went to the market used to see Fem a lot. Visibility wise, it was perceived as a big company. Actually, we were only 100 plus crores. But visibility-wise, we were posing a big threat in the cosmetic counters. So we were getting like offers every day, to buy us out, because literally khatakta tha unko, this is the small people coming and occupying so much of the space. But because we were dadas in bleach, we insisted on the space, so we got it. So, and they couldn't have any cosmetic counter without bleach. So they had to have bleach over there. So moment bleach went in, all our other products went in. So we were like, dada. So everyone wanted to buy us out. From Hindustan Levers to Godrej to Wipro to everybody. And every time we were getting offers. And we thought, okay, we've grown at this stage. We cannot ever advertise the way they are advertising. No. Even if we wipe ourselves dry, we can't do that. Okay? More and more organized retail was coming. Now, they were price cutting like anything. The organized retail, like the big bazaars and all, they offer cheaper to their consumers. They started saying, you have to give us a price cut because we will order bulk, And then when they ordered bulk, we were not so sure that they were selling it in their market or they were selling it to the wholesale again, Now, unless you had a big enough organization to take care of every leg, you're going to be swindled in this kind of a game. It was, when we quit, it was only 9% retail and the rest of the percentage in other stores. But that 9% of organized retail was growing very fast. And we had to do something very fast about that. And that only meant a big leap. You can't as a small player then manage organized retail because they wanted straight from the factory direct. They didn't want distributors. They did not want any middle people. They were willing to pay you the price of the factory. And for the factory to supply to all retail chains had become not possible from Himachal Pradesh and Bihar. So everything started becoming different when the MNCs started coming in. So we sat down with the highest bidder and we said, okay, where will this brand go? They promised us the amount they would spend on the brand, the celebrity endorsements that they would get for the brand. Then we said, okay, all this is okay, but we don't want our distributors to go. They've been with us from the very beginning. They said, okay, we'll keep your distributors. We said, okay, we don't want our employers to go. They should be on your scale. They said, okay. Okay, we don't want our shareholders to lose. So they said, okay. So our share price went from 350 to 800. All the shareholders were happy, the distributors were happy, the staff was happy, the suppliers were happy, and the brand was happy. It got a big impetus. That's when we stepped out.
Are you happy?
Yeah, that is what my question is. Are you happy?
For a while, I was very happy because everybody was happy. But you miss your brand,
Absolutely.
You miss everything. I would be not human to say that don't miss Fem.
I can see
But-
this in your eyes.
But I acquired a company in America, again in cosmetics, and the non-compete does not allow me to come to India for the next 5 years, but that is a big challenge. I went abroad, and this is a brand, it's a small company which I want to grow. America is very bad at this stage. The market is at the lowest ebb. The spending capacity of a person is, and I'm glad I'm getting into this stage.